Steve Morgan here, Australian Bass Tournaments. We have just finished the Rapala round of the 13Fishing Bass Pro Series here on Somerset Dam, a lake where this man does a little guiding, spends a lot of time on, and mate, you came home with the chocolates this weekend by doing what we don't often see at Somerset, getting away from the pack. First and second place both said they wanted to fish away from the pack, and as you said, it was a risky thing.
Yeah, it was a risk because it was purely, I think me and Callum both said the same thing. The forecast said no wind, so me and Cal both guide here, and we just know that, you know, the days that there's no wind, it gets really tough on the schools, and you've got to go looking for fish around structure.
Yep, and the structure that you chose wasn't around the people anyway. It was way up the top of the lake. Take us through your pre-fish and your thought process and how you were going to strategically attack this tournament.
So I always pre-fish with Nick Brown. I just said to Nick, I said, let's just go up into the trees and just try and stay away from the schools. But we can try later if the wind does pick up. But basically went up into the 6 knot zone, fished a couple of banks, didn't initially catch too much, but then the further down I got, the better the banks looked and the better the fish behaved. So we pull into a bank, catch one, go to another bank, catch another one. You know, you might do 2 or 3 and then catch another one, but I think we caught maybe 7 or 8 fish on Friday. I would have loved the bag on Friday, but it turned out the bags over the weekend were good enough to win it. But yeah, it was just more the fact of following it as far down as we could go, because we knew that there was going to be no traffic, and the further down we went, the better it got. So yeah, I was real happy with getting as far away as possible.
It's nice nice when a plan comes off, isn't it? Now, you said during the interview at the presentation you had a 2-pronged approach. Take us through the baits and the gear that you used to get it done.
Yeah, so both Miller rods, extra finesse long casts. They're both exactly the same. He does these in a production model, so extra finesse, XFLC,
yep,
for extra finesse long cast. But basically Yamatoyo line, 10-pound Yamatoyo braid, 10-pound Yamatoyo leader, and ZX blade for any fish that we just saw coming through as we were fishing the banks. Like, I predominantly fished the jerk bait, but any fish that came through underneath the bait, you drop that down, the ZX blade. That's a ZX40. And just, you know, a lot of the smaller fish, but the bag fillers would come on that. And I even thought to myself over the weekend, you know, if you could just fill a 10 fish limit, even on blades, you'd probably do really well. So that was the first one.
Now take us through, this is the big fish bait. Getting cool enough to fish jerkbaits around the edges. It sort of really is a cold water thing in this lake, and luckily it got cold enough to make it play. Yeah,
that's right. The water was down about 16 degrees, and basically extra finesse long cast, 10-pound Yamatoyo leader, and a 67 squirrel. I tried a bunch of different lures. I found that a lot of them were only getting to that 4 to 5 feet, but I wanted that lure to run at sort of 7 to 8 feet, and especially hit against structure. So fishing rocks, fishing you know, timber, lily pads, that sort of stuff, and a lot of the really big fish, especially on pre-fish, came on this. And yeah, just needed something to get down there and get in their face, and that's how a lot of the really big fish came, just on the jerkbait.
Now, each day you would have had a long transit back through that 6 knot zone. Did it play through your mind that, what if the guys on the schools got them?
Yeah, and that did the whole time, especially yesterday. Like Saturday, I thought, you know, it took me nearly an hour and 45 to get to where I wanted to go because of the fog. But, you know, again, I also think the fog helped, because I did not see another boat yesterday apart from one of my mates who came down and didn't realise I was fishing down there. But yeah, today was a little bit different. I know that it was tough out here, and all the other boys did too, so a few ventured down that way, but I still went a long way down, and I'd caught my fish before I saw any other boats today.
Yep. You say this is your 6th or 7th win in ABT, your 2nd for this year.
Yep.
And this year it's a bit of a pattern. If you have boat problems on day 1, you get in someone else's boat and you finish it in someone else's boat on day 2.
It seems that's how the two have gone this year, because Glenn Maggie was the same with Mitch. Both boats have had yammies, so I missed out on the Merc bonus.
Well, $500, mate, that'd sting your pocket, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but it's good, like I said, just talking before, the amount of people that came up and realised that I had boat issues. I think there was at least a dozen people who said, you know, come and you can use my boat, you're welcome to. So I'm good mates with Paul Aldous, he's at Kilcoy there, so I'll just give it a bit of a polish up and clean up and take it back home.
There you go. I thought, wasn't he going to get half of the prize money?
Yeah, yep.
It's on camera now, mate. in trouble.
He's definitely going to be rewarded, that's for sure.
Well, because of that, I got to spend a great day with Paul today. He really knows the lake, and I think he was one of the guys that was hoping the wind was going to blow because he's a gun on those school fish. But, mate, you did the right thing on the weekend. You're already in the grand final, and I think the legend status just gets higher and higher.
Yeah, the legend boat was awesome today. But, yeah, like you said with Paul, I call him the governor. I call him the governor of Somerset because he's probably out here just as much as I am. But, yeah, massive thanks to Paul Aldous for letting me use his legend. His pride and joy, and yeah, I just got to make sure I give it a good old clean before I take it home.
Now, what about Angler of the Year now? You and Mick Johnson after Boondoomba were tied up. You've put a little bit of a lead in at the moment, but you can drop events. So, another good one in the bag for you, but I don't think by any means clear of Mick.
No, well, me and Mick are good mates. We pre-fished Boondoomba for the last one. We didn't get to pre-fish Somerset together, but we're just good mates, and we're enjoying that, that rivalry, I suppose. It's a little bit of banter and stuff, but Mick's a great angler, and I know that I've got to, make sure that I fish well because I know how easily he can come and sneak up on me.
Yep, well done, mate. Congratulations, your second win for the year. The dollars are getting up there, mate, and that grand final boat, is this the year you're going to win a grand final?
I'd like to one day. Hopefully it's this year, and it's at Boondoomba, so I've got a better chance, I suppose, than normal, but we'll just see. Anyone can win these comps, and they're just so hard to win, but being on my home lake, I'm looking forward to it.
There you go. The champion of our Rapala round at Somerset, Matty Langford.